Pedo. Yes, pediatric dentistry. That's what we're going to be talking about today. How to successfully match into pediatrics and the journey behind it. Today, we're joined with DrKalin, who's going to share with us his journey. We're going to be talking about why he selected pedo, how he prepared for his applications, the schools, how did he come up with his list, and the interviews, how many interviews, the interview day, what to expect. And we're also going to be talking about how he formulated his rank list. And then he's going to share some details about the program that he matched at. And also, he's going to share some insights, tips, and advice for those of you that are applying to pedo, looking to become a board certified pediatric dentist. So be sure to stay all the way through to today's episode. Also, today's episode is being brought to you by Get Into Dental Residency Challenge. Yes, a challenge. Get Into Dental Residency Challenge, which is the ultimate resource to help you jumpstart your application and your candidacy for residency. For more details, check out the link down below and go to getintodentalresidencychallenge.com. All right. Today, we're going to kick it off. Doc, introduce yourself for some of us who are meeting you for the first time, and just give us some background information.
Yeah, my name is Dr. DrKalin. I'm from Dallas, Texas originally, moved to Houston for dental school, and I graduated in 2022. So I've been working now primarily in more of a general dental setting, focusing on pediatric patients, and that's how I grew my love into pediatric dentistry. And I moved to South Texas for a year and a half, and that was a phenomenal experience for me, moving to more of a rural, underserved area and working in an environment similar to pediatric dental residency, actually. And now I'm back in Houston working in a similar population as well. So I'm really excited that, I started this journey of becoming a pediatric dentist, and I'm excited for the things to come.
Here's the part that people really want to hear as well. And you've been sharing some of these already, which is tips and advice. You share some tips with regards to going to the meeting. You share some tips about how to use externships to not only boost your application, but also to help you develop your application and how you use it for interviews. If knowing what you know now and the process that you went through by starting early and all the other things that you did to develop your candidacy, knowing what you know, what you did, what are some other tips, or just highlight those top 5, 6 tips or more for those individuals that are listening and watching right now that are getting ready to go through this process to become a pediatric dentist?
Yeah, we talked about starting early. So I would say starting early, number one, and that starting early means could be a few weeks before or a few months before. But when I look back, doing those externships, that's number 2, and having the CV almost completed and giving that to different faculties is definitely something I highly, highly recommend. Number 3 would be, putting a lot of time in the personal statement and organizing that CV, because when you have your CV completed, it makes the actual application process in May so much easier. So if you get that done in March, April, May, you don't have to stress and worry when everyone else is worrying when the application's open. Because now I'm plugging and placing everything into the website from my CV, like copying and pasting it. So I'm not as stressed as everyone else because I already did put in all the work beforehand. Number 4 was definitely the interviews. I know I didn't talk about this that much, but I practice a lot for those interviews. And it wasn't just me. I recorded myself. I video recorded myself. The main questions: why pediatric dentistry? What do you bring to this program? Strengths, weaknesses. But I also looked online to see what are the different questions they could ask me. And I know that I'm not going to be able to answer all those questions. But what happened was I basically practiced 15 to 20 questions, and I would have bullet points, maybe 2, 3 max bullet points per question. And it ended up helping me get this, almost like when you have an answer bank for a test. I had an answer bank for my interviews because people can ask different questions and you can use that same answer. For example, what do you bring to this program and what strengths do you have could be the same answer. And so having a good answer bank really helped me when they were throw some random questions at me. For example, the toughest one actually at Tampa was, what's the greatest responsibility that you have right now? And I took a step back and I was like, man, that's a tough question. I don't have a wife, I don't have kids. So I had to really think on the spot, what answer am I going to say? And I used one of my answers from that answer bank into answering that question. So that's definitely another tip that I would recommend. And maybe the last tip I would say is keep in communication with the people that you meet at the externship. So that's the residents, at the interviews, that's going to be potentially your co-residents. And then I was fortunate enough to not go through this process by myself. In South Texas, I had one coworker who I'm really close with, that was applying to pedo with me as well. We had interviews together. I had actually 4 of my coworkers applying to pedo as with me as well, and I went on interviews with 3 of them. And so keep in communication with the people that you meet, because you never know what opportunities lead to, if it's at APD and talking to a program director and then getting an interview invite at that program, or if it's someone that you meet at your interview who could be your co-resident. And so that's something that's super important, because I actually look back now at my top 4, I would have known at least one person at all 4. At Tampa, 2 people I met at my interview and we're in communication right now. At my number 2 is my friend from South Texas. He got into my number 2 school, so we would have been co-residents. And my number 3 was 2 other people that I met at the interviews that we keep in contact with. And my number 4 school was 2 of my coworkers. So keep in contact with everyone, because you never know where we all end up. And it's definitely a really fun and exciting journey when we do it together, as opposed to doing it separately. Because with those coworkers that I had, I did mock interviews with them, because they said they had or heard questions that I never heard of to prepare for my interview, and I did the same. And so, one other tip, and maybe this is the last tip I'll say, have a research article and then take notes on that research article and bring that research article to your interview. Because my friend's very first interview, they asked him, what research articles have you read recently? And that was something that worried me, because I did not have any research articles planned. And so I brought that article to every single interview, but luckily no one ever asked me about that, but I was prepared. And so that's something that really, really would be something that could make or break your interview, just because you didn't have that research article. So definitely have that, because you don't want to be caught red-handed, and then all that work that you put in the application goes to waste because of that interview not turning out how you wanted it to go.
Yeah, you don't want to be caught no-handed, as in no research article in hand and none in your mind that you can say, hey, this is, not only I want to be a pediatric dentist, but this is how I'm demonstrating it, by sharing that here's a hot topic that I've been reading about and learning about, or maybe I saw at the conference during CE, and this is what I really liked about this article. This is what I found interesting. Exactly. So 7 amazing tips. And for those of you that missed them, go back, listen to them. Here's a brief recap. Start early. And we have your internship, having your CV ready. Organize your CV and your personal statement to assist you with the IDEA Pass application. Because guess what? That bad boy is about 20, 30 pages in all totality. 4, right? Practice for your interview with the questions. Get your answers together. All right. You want to be able to ace the answers, not the questions. Your responsibility is acing the answers. All right. Stay connected with people that you meet along your journey. And this comes up again because 6, you had a process. If you can do this process with others, it's great. It's a collective effort, right? It takes a village. right? If you want to, there's this phrase that goes like this. It's an African proverb, and Doc, you may have heard it, and many of you who are listening and watching may have heard it. But if you haven't, it goes like this: If you want to go far, I'm sorry, if you want to go fast, do it by yourself, right? If you want to go fast, do it by yourself. But if you want to go far, do it with others, as in a collective effort of others helping you, a community of people, right? Colleagues, right? AKA a village. It takes a village to get things done. So it also takes a collective effort. And then 7 was research article. Yes, very important, because guess what you're going to be doing as a pediatric resident in training? Research, evidence-based dentistry. In addition to research, in addition to you being responsible for some level or some type of research project, a survey, right? An analysis, or maybe your start research. All right. So you can't just say you want to be pedo and a pediatric dentist and you're not doing or understand the things that you will be doing as a resident. If you don't understand it as an applicant and you're not demonstrating that you're preparing for that, then shame on you, because it's part of the process. Is one of the many things that programs are looking for in candidates. Guys, I hope this has been helpful. And we just talked about how to become a pediatric dentist and how to match and the journey that it takes to get to that endpoint. Doc, so happy we had the opportunity to work together and not only launch you and jumpstart your candidacy, but also solidify it by matching. So congratulations to you, man, again. And so great to have this final result and you being able to get to your future desired state. Now you can see it, right? You can see it and feel it.
Exactly.
And feel it.
Thank you so much, Dr. Darwin. I know we worked together for this whole journey, and it was an amazing journey, and you pushed me hard, and that's what I really wanted and needed. So, didn't have to go through this process again. So I'm really excited that we did this together, and thank you so much.
Hey, well, thank you for allowing me to be your accountability partner and kind of work with you and push you, like you said, but also another reason why it's important to have community, right? To stay connected, to ask for help, but also go through a process in life, in this particular case, a professional development opportunity process with others, right? Because you can do it by yourself, but why when there's others and people that are out here that can help you along your journey, right?
And you were a former program director, so you kind of know what to look for and what other program directors are looking for in your application too, or interviews too. So that really helps also. So that was definitely something that I'm super excited that we went through this process together. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. And for those of you listening, watching, I'm going to say thank you in advance for going to the next video. Go to the next episode. Go to the next episode right now. Go, go, go.